The Burlington Park branch is the shortest branch line on the Southern United Railroad. The branch line's sole purpose is to serve a horse racing track. When there are big races held there, special dedicated trains run to the park. The only other time the branch line is served is when freight trains drop off feed for the horses that are stationed there. And during the off-season, sometimes maintenance equipment is stored on the tracks. One evening, Lita was pulling a local freight train, and one of her stops was the horse racing track. She left her cars on the main line and shoved the 2 box cars to the sidings. "I wish one day I could pull one of the horse racing trains," she said to herself. A few evenings later, Miss Caldwell came to the roundhouse. "The Burlington Derby is this weekend," Miss Caldwell explained. "This means we will run special racing trains. Larry, I've rostered you to pull one, but I need another engine to pull the second section out of South Plainsville." Before anyone else could offer, Lita piped in. Miss Caldwell, I'll do it. I always want to take a horse racing train." "Okay, Lita," smiled Miss Caldwell. "Then the train is yours. Make sure you're on time." "Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am," Lita said excitedly. Early Saturday morning, Larry was already coupled to his horse racing train, while Lita waited impatiently for Jihad to bring her passenger cars in. "Hurry up, Jihad," she called. "I don't want to be late." "Hold your horses," Larry chuckled. "The horse race isn't going anywhere." "I know," bubbled Lita, "but I don't want to miss any of the fun." Once Lita's train was on the platform, Larry got the clearance to leave the station. At Denville, he passed by Taylor. She was pulling a racing train up from Glendale Seaport and had stopped at Denville to pick up passengers from Sapphire's passenger train. When Larry arrived at Burlington Park, he was very excited to see Chaz, who had just brought the train from the other railroad, and also Kristen, who had brought passengers up from Otisville. They hadn't seen each other a while and quickly caught up until Taylor arrived, followed not too far behind by Lita. Lita watched excitedly as the passengers exited the train to the horse racing track. After the first race had finished, all 5 trains were turned on the Y. "So, who's the first to depart back to get more passengers?" Lita asked. "We don't go back for more passengers," Kristen explained. "We don't?" said Lita. "Then what do we do for the rest of the day?" "Just sit here," Larry replied. Lita didn't like the sound of this. She didn't want to sit around all day waiting for the end of the horse races. She wanted to do something. She thought she'd be traveling back and forth between the park and the station all day. She then had a thought. "Please," she asked her driver, "can we go and see if anyone else needs help and then come back to get our train later?" Her driver thought for a moment. "I guess that'll be all right, as long as we're back on time." "Great," Lita replied. She was uncoupled from her train and she puffed away. She arrived at the quarry where she found Haley. "Haley, can I help you out until it's time for me to take the horse racing train back home?" she asked. "I'm glad you are here," Haley said happily. "Sarah's in for repairs, so I can use extra help." "Great," said Lita, and she set to work. The two enjoyed themselves all day. Haley and Lita were having a rest, and they overheard the television inside the yardmaster's office. "Oh, they're coming around to the final bend. It's going to be close. And it's mystery box by a nose." "That must be the final race," said Lita's driver. "We better get going." Before they could leave, Madison passed by pulling a long stone train. Suddenly, One of the hoppers in the middle of Madison's train derailed, causing the ones behind it to follow. Madison didn't know anything was wrong until an air hose snapped and the train went into emergency. Everyone inspected the damage. "We're gonna have to call for the wreck crew," the quarry manager said at last. "There's no way we could pull these back onto the track with a re-railer." Lita's heart sank. "Oh no, my train!" Meanwhile, back at the horse racing track, the other engines looked around for Lita, but she didn't show up. "She should have been back by now," puffed Taylor. "She's supposed to depart after you and before me." Passengers boarded both trains, but still Lita didn't come. "I guess I'll have to take both trains then," Larry decided. Chaz and Taylor both looked concerned. "Are you sure, Larry?" Chaz asked. "A double-length train by yourself isn't good for any engine." "Well, I can't just leave her passengers stranded," Larry said. "You're so brave, Larry," Taylor said admiringly. Soon Larry had both trains coupled together. He took a deep breath, he blew a sharp blast on his whistle, and slowly but surely started the train. Larry tried his best, but ran low on steam after climbing the hill, so Tiara had to help him the rest of the way. After the mess at the quarry had been cleared, Lita arrived back at the roundhouse. "Lita, what you did was irresponsible," Miss Caldwell said sharply. "And look at poor Larry." Larry was too exhausted to even comment on the situation. "I'm sorry, Miss Caldwell," apologized Lita. "Well, let's hope you are," she said. "Tomorrow, while Larry gets a well-deserved rest, you will do his work as well as your own. Is that clear?" "Yes, ma'am," Lita replied sadly. So the next day, that's exactly what Lita did. She did her work and Larry's up the same day. And it's safe to say, she didn't wander off.